Traders, welcome back to another Relentless video. So I've been getting a few questions on Instagram, right? And actually, before we jump into this video, guys, be careful on Instagram, Discord, and all other social medias, man. These scammers are getting ridiculous. There's a fake Relentless Trader Instagram that are going around scamming people. I can even show you guys a few DMs towards the end of this video. But before we really, look at anything like that, let's address the question I've been getting more recently here over the last couple of days, couple of weeks, which is day trading gambling? RT. I've been hearing a lot about day trading. I got a few friends who are day trading. Some of them are doing all right. Some of them are losing money. What's going on? Is this gambling? And you guys know how I like to do it, man. Let's just jump straight into it, right? Is day trading gambling? The answer is yes and no. And so let's get into it, right? Let's talk about why day trading is gambling, right? So remember that no matter the field, the sector, the type of business, no matter what it is, right, there will be risks associated with it. And in that sense, we can say we're taking a bit of a chance, a gamble, right, depending on how you want to use the word. And so this field is definitely risky, more so than others, right? Professional traders have a license, just like many other fields, right? To be an accountant, you have to be certified. You have to be, they call it they call the CPAs. You have to be a CPA. You have to pass that examination. To be a lawyer, you have to pass the bar, right? The doctors, the nurses, the MCATs, and day trading in a sense is no different. Now, being that there's so many people who have access to the markets through brokers, right, which are now, let's say, softwares, there are a lot of people who are not professional, right, non-professionals, who are coming in and operating as if they are professionals, and they're not. And so they're gambling. They're not managing risk. They're not setting stop losses. They're not looking after their best interests, right? We talk about being the best managers that we can be. The market is this unique field where it's kind of like a business and you are your own boss. And as you step in, right, how well can you manage risk? How well can you run the day-to-day operations, right? And a lot of people do a miserable job. And it's like the saying, hey, we all can't be a boss, right? In some ways that is true. And so in the market, we are our greatest strength and our greatest weakness. And so for those people who are coming in, they're not sticking to their game plans, they're not following their rules, they're going against everything that they had planned out, everything that's been working, they are gambling. And guys, remember, day trading is hard. It was never easy, right? It never will be easy. And so we have to really approach it in the right, respectful way. And so for those people who are not trading in a simulator before proving consistency, right? For the people who are, blindly following other traders, right? Following call-outs on Discords, on Facebook, and these Facebook groups. It's like, the Reddit people, and it's like, what happens? Let's say these call-outs are working, right? And what happens if that person, shuts down their operation? Before you know it, your income source is cut, just like that, gone. So it's something you have to learn for yourself. You can't just blindly follow. You have to understand the setups. You have to understand the thought process behind the trades, and you have to be disciplined to stick to that to the T. And the people who are doing that are the people who are excelling. There is no secret to the people who are excelling, right? Trading is, we can say, 60%, fundamental. Oh, hold up. We got that backwards. More like 10% fundamental, 10% technical, and let's say 80% emotional, right? Psychological. So for the people who are out there gambling every day, right? If you're one of those people and you're watching on, remember that day trading is risky and you should trade in a simulator before putting real money on the line. The people who, and to be honest, if you're someone who is refusing to go to the simulator and you're losing money consistently, you have a problem, right? As bluntly as I can put it, you have a problem. There's a mental barrier that you're running into, that for one reason or another is convincing you that the sim is a waste of time and it's not worth it. Maybe, and you know what we typically hear, or most commonly hear, is that, hey, I will not have that emotional tie. Guys, you got to do what you got to do, and the simulation, it's so mental. It is so mental. You can carry that emotion to the sim if you want to, I believe. As an individual, you can, man. I'm telling you that if you can do it, you can do it. And even if you can't, what you can do is treat the simulation with respect, in the sense of buy where you need to buy and sell where you need to sell. Because when you look at the people who are using all this big money and who are trading live every day, why is it that that person can sell that losing trade and you can't, right? You got to ask yourself that. Was that person in the simulation respecting that loss, right? So is day trading gambling in this aspect? Of course it is. Of course it is. You know, you might as well go to the casino and bet your life on black, because, you know, is that silly in some ways, right? This is a very aggressive video, but I gotta say it how it is, man, because there are people out there who are not keeping track of their data. They're not screen recording. They're not studying. And, you know, I believe there's a right way to approach day trading, right? And that is that you can start off small. You can start off in the simulator. You can map, you know, think of it as a real business. Think about what real companies are doing every day. They're keeping track of almost everything. You know, you go to, you can even go to a mom and pop shop. They can tell you which, you know, month was their best, and you know, they'll have reasons to believe, you know, why. Was it because of the pandemic and people being home? Was it because of this and that? Was it because of the price? You have to keep track of data. You have to keep track of the data. That way you can make sense of the variables that's going on in the markets. And I believe there's a right way, and that is the way to do it. Slow and steady, keeping track of what you're doing, and working towards betterment, right? Actively finding ways to improve after rewatching tape and studying, right? And so that is a period, let's say the learning curve, you know, let's say anywhere from 1 to 4 years, right? We go to university for 4 years. The learning curve might as well be 4 years, right? Because in university, we don't really have any real skills, right? We still have to go and actually work a job to gain experience. So I would say 4 years is a solid time to give yourself, if you're doing it the right way, you know, methodical, slow, steady, pacing yourself. We know it's a marathon and not a sprint. And so if you do it in that sense, and you take it serious, you're doing your due diligence, right? You're doing your due diligence, and you're doing your research as you go. You can make that educated decision, you know, when it's time, if it doesn't work out, because then you've completed your thesis. This is not for me, and for such and such reasons. I wasn't able to find consistency despite giving it my all after 4 years. And, you know, that'll be 4 excellent years of you meeting new people in Discord, right? Be sure to check out this Discord, by the way, shameless plug. That'll be, you know, you can meet great people. You can gain a lot of knowledge, and it's not for a very long time. It's only necessary really for just 1 hour a day. 1 hour of trading, 9:30 to 10:30, the open Eastern time, and let's say 20 minutes of studying at the end of the day, where you go over your charts, you go over a little bit of your screen recording and other data. Maybe you might be collecting through Excel, TraderView, or other softwares that are out there, right? And so you do that over 4 years, it is definitely not gambling, right? And so the people who are on the other side of that wall, that line, are people who are great managers, people who are great at accepting losses, accepting risk, because it's really not personal. It is really not personal. And I think the people who are having issues with that emotional connection between the simulation and real accounts, that's the issue they're having. They're making it personal when it's not. If a stock goes against us, it is not personal, guys. We have to cut the losers, and we have to cut them quick. And I think that's the number one thing that's in the way of a lot of people becoming consistent, is cutting losses. That's probably, I would say, maybe the number one factor. Let's say holding past the stop loss, doubling down, tripling down, quadrupling down, and sometimes it'll work. The stock bounces up, but the one time it doesn't, it wipes out the account because you're so big, and the stock just keeps flushing. It's like it's gonna bounce here, it's gonna bounce here. No, it's not, right? So we got to make sure that we stop out. And so, in that sense, the people who are, once again, excellent managers, the people who are not panicking, the people who are understanding that it's not, to carry feelings if the trade do not work out, we move on to the next one. And so, doing that, sticking to your plan of action, right? We talk about analogies when it comes to boxing almost every day in my live streams, right? And they say everyone has a plan until they're punched in the face. But you got to remember that if you are a great boxer, we think of the Muhammad Ali's, the Floyd Mayweathers, the Mike Tysons of the world, up and coming Ryan Garcia, man. You can get knocked down, but you can't let the punch define you. And that's the thing. We have that moment of fight, flight, and freeze. And we have to always fight. We cannot panic, we can't freeze, right? And we cannot run away. And so if we do take that big loss, it's not time to quit, right? We have to control that emotion. It is hard, of course it is. And what works, and what is difficult about it is that what works for me and other traders that you might see in different communities or online might not work for you. And so it's not a one size fits all. And so you got to try different things to see what will put you over the top and give you that edge, right? So you have to choose fight, right? You have to let your inner, your that inner, let's say, whatever you guys want to use, man. If you want to say that inner beast, right? That inner beast within you, you have to let it out, and you have to fight, and you have to, in some ways, if you want to look, I love the military analogies as well, right? I've played a lot of video games, warfare video games, and so it's like, okay, the enemy is destroying me. The enemy team is absolutely obliterating me right now. What adjustments can I make to stand more of a chance? With the market, we can control how much we lose in the blink of an eye by sizing down. So we talk about small size every day. You can control the amount you lose. And so when you can control the amount you lose, it gives you access to longevity. It gives you access to account preservation. You can save your account, you can save your capital as you figure out what the enemy team is doing, and then you can re-strategize. If you need to retreat, that's what you do. You retreat, reduce size, adjust your plan of action, and then you come again. And so that's what it's all about, guys. Longevity is not a marathon. Well, rather, it's not a sprint. It is a marathon. And remember that day trading is gambling if you allow it to be, right? For those of us who are disciplined, who are keeping things in check, it is the complete opposite of gambling. In fact, every day it's like, I don't want this video to come off arrogant, because the market is hard. Trading is hard. Trading is not easy. It never was. It never will be easy. That word easy does not exist in the market. So I don't want to come off arrogant, because I lose. I have red days too. I have a bunch. I have so many red days. But what I'm trying to say is that when you're disciplined, even if nothing is working, you have control to go sideways. And sideways is always better than down. And so that in itself is a victory. So you have to seize control. Seize control. Take it. If not, day trading will forever and always be gambling. You'll be buying stocks here, you'll be green here, you'll be red there, but ultimately you're going to be trending downwards because the discipline is going to be lacking. You might tell yourself, hey, I'm not going to trade anything above $5. Tomorrow a stock goes from 5 to 10 to 20, and guess what? You broke that rule. You traded it anyways. It went up. You might have even been green. but it was a negative behavior and a positive reinforcement. And so tomorrow, the next day, you try to trade a stock above $5 again, you lose big. And so we got to be disciplined. Whatever it is that you're seeing that's working, focus on that. Eliminate the things that are not, and from there, that's how you can improve, right? Make your strengths. And sometimes, we talk about our weaknesses. Do we want to improve on our weaknesses? Of course, right? But this is the type of field where you can also excel at one particular thing. If it's one particular setup, one particular type of stock. Like we know people out there who they'll trade Tesla all day long. They don't need anything else. They'll trade AMC, GameStop, these type of stocks. Now, if you're reading these large cap stocks really well, and you find that edge in that particular side of things, or maybe instead of longing, shorting is what usually works for you. You want to focus on that, and so you want to make sure you continue building until you can see more and more success. So once again, guys, day trading is and isn't at the same time gambling. It's up to you to choose which one you want it to be. So with that being said, guys, it's been Relentless Trader. I hope you did enjoy this quick Saturday video. I am, of course, signing out.